Easy like Sunday morning.
Is Sunday morning that easy? Welcome to the Rowdy.com Big Three on a Thursday.
On a Thursday.
Sitting next to Buck Beaver, I'm Bassmasters. We talk NASCAR on Rowdy.com, and right here in this very location, Jerome Buzz Cutler has the questions for us today.
Yeah, first question is a chase-related question, but we're not talking about changes to the chase. We're talking about who's going to make it. Right now, both Juan Pablo Montoya and Casey Kane are closer to the top 12 than Matt Kenseth was to the top 10 at this point in the season when he made that rally a few years ago to make the chase field. Will JP or Casey Kane emulate that Matt Kenseth run and make the chase?
No way. No, JP is utterly snake bit. I mean, he's got a very fast car, and so he's got it in him. He could, but it seems to me the mistakes and the problems just keep on amassing. And as far as Casey Kane, he had a great run last week, but I don't think he can put it all together. I really don't.
Here's the interesting thing about these two guys. They're going to Infineon, where both of them,
True.
Each one has won a race there. Mm-hmm. Now, Matt Kenseth may have been closer in points, but I'm not sure that he had as many drivers he had to pass. These guys have to pass 7 guys, and in Casey's case, he would have to pass 8 because he'd have to pass Juan Pablo as well. But I do think we write these guys off too early, and I'm going to say yes because I've already said it. Juan Pablo's making the chase. He's fast. He's going to run second or win this weekend, and then he's going to make the chase and make me look good.
He's fast, all right. He just is all over the damn map.
Make me look like a genius. He just so happens that his bad luck is all out of the way.
All right, issue number 2 over at SpeedTV.com. Mr. Excitement, Jimmy Spencer.
Who does like to arrange flowers.
Yes.
Does he?
He's a big flower guy.
Big flower guy.
He said that A.J. Allmendinger's stupidity at Pocono and lack of contrition thereafter is going to make it harder for Richard Petty Motorsports to attract somebody to fill the number 9 because nobody's going to want to be A.J.'s teammate.
You know what?
Maybe on the surface, but I don't think if you think that through, it makes a lot of sense.
That doesn't make any sense at all to me. And I want to say he's totally wrong, but hell, he's a driver, so he should know. But I just... The cup rides are so few and far between. You take the opportunity.
Right. I mean, I think that is the point, Buck. It's like which team does a guy go to? He would have gone to Richard Petty Motorsports, but instead he didn't want to race with AJ. And let's just take it as a given that someone feels that way, which I'm not convinced they do. But that which team does he go to instead? Right? Because if you're saying, oh, well, he could go to Joe Gibbs for a 4th car. Well, he's going to do that anyway, isn't he?
Right.
I mean, really. He's going to go to Penske in a 4th car. Methinks he's probably going to do that anyway at this point with the way Richard Petty Motorsports is running. So I don't know that there's a team that a guy would pass on Richard Petty Motorsports to go to this other team just because he doesn't want to race with A.J. Allmendinger. I
think Reed Sorensen, J.J. Yaley are going to say, nah, I don't want the ride. Because that A.J. guy, I can't deal with him.
I don't see that scenario playing out.
All right, issue number 3. I remember back at the Charlotte Media Tour, I was talking to Travis Geisler about Dodge and how they're the only Dodge team. And he said, well, that's really going to work in our advantage. And this past weekend, Roger Penske was saying it does work in our advantage because we're the de facto factory team. And Dodge is not splitting their resources amongst several teams. We have their complete focus.
Consider the source. I mean, what do you expect them to say? I don't know that it's necessarily a negative that there's not another Dodge team. It would depend on how much you think that they would be getting from, say, Richard Petty Motorsports via Dodge if Richard Petty Motorsports were still a Dodge team. But you're kind of asserting the reverse, right? Then you're saying Hendrick Motorsports is at a disadvantage because there's more than one Chevy team. I find that hard to believe.
I find it hard to believe, and also it sounds somewhat of an indictment of Dodge. It's saying, when Dodge had other teams, they were so split up and so disparate, it didn't help us.
We're so distracted, we can't concentrate.
It's like almost a criticism of Dodge. But now that we got Dodge's full attention, we're better off.
I think it's a good situation for Penske. I actually don't think it's a disadvantage. I'm just not sure it's a big fat advantage either. All right, that's your Rowdy.com Big 3 for today. Do join us at Rowdy.com. Weigh in on these issues and more. And we'll be back tomorrow with our Flame Disc pre-race video for Infineon.
Cooking up some beef ribs.
Oh, yeah.
Beef ribs.
Beef
Yummy.
ribs.
Rowdy.com. Say it like it is.
Say what like it is?
Rowdy.com.